Welcome, everybody, to the Brick Breakdown. I'm your host, Michael Calderese, lifelong Brick resident, someone who cares deeply about this town. I am the owner of Calderese Masonry, a local masonry company in the area. If you do need a backyard, hit me up. I'm also co-owner of Dead Red Media and live show host of Two Mics Live. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we are a nationwide show. Went from 0 to 8 million views in our first year. We have a lot of big plans nationally, but I have a lot of big plans as well locally. And one of the problems that I see in our town especially is the fact that every one of us is kept in the dark. I'm really tired of walking into the voting booth, looking at the names, and I pay attention to this, but looking at the names of the people that are on the Democrat and Republican or independent or school board, and not really having a clue on who any of these people are. And I try to find the information, and it's really, really difficult. I see things like ordinances trying to be passed. And when Bricktown shows up to stop it, our leadership denies all, that they weren't even doing anything. And they don't have anybody asking them questions. They never have to come on a show and answer questions or any of that stuff. We are all kept in the dark over and over and over again in this town. And part of it's because the way they post material and the way they operate. But another part of it is because you don't have anybody and we don't have anybody that's going to bring you news and current events and highlights of this town to you, to your face in digestible clips. That's where I'm going to come in. What I intend to do with this is be very fair. I am, for many of you guys who know me, I definitely am more on the right side, I guess you could say politically. This is not what this show is going to be about. This show is going to strictly be about breaking down Bricktown and trying to get information out to you in a nonpartisan way. I don't like the Republican Party, and I do not like the Democrat Party. Both of these parties, I could tell you what they've done wrong over the last 20 years. I've been in this town for a very long time, but paying attention to it since I was 20 years old. I can tell you what both of these parties have done wrong the entire time, and we're going to get into that. But this isn't going to be about my opinion. This is going to be about bringing you information. And that's it. Because I hope to bring you information. I want to interview everybody from the superintendent of the schools to the police chief to our council and to our mayor. And the people that saw me last time when I kind of just went on a rant about the ordinance, I'm going to bring that up later. Stay tuned. At the end of the show is going to be our recap section. I asked everybody to sit down and answer some questions about what happened that day and why they made some of the decisions they made. And they all denied me. And I don't know why, because I'm a Brick citizen. So that spurred me to start this, to bring you guys information in a very quick, very short, awesome way. I'm going to need your help. I'm going to ask you guys to send me in videos of awesome plays that some of these kids made in Little League. I want Students of the Year. I want this to be a highlight film of Brick. I'm going to be highlighting Brick businesses, Brick owners. Even if you own a business in Toms River and you live in Brick, it's the same thing. You're all family to me. This is going to be a Brick highlight film. This is going to be an informative area where you're going to get real, truthful information about our town. And then maybe by breaking down the moments that build our town, we could make this town better. And we could stop walking by wondering, going, why is the traffic gone crazy? What's this building? What are they building here? What are they building here? What are they building there? Are they ever going to stop building? We could stop asking these questions if you actually know what's going on. If you have an idea of when the planning board meetings are going, you might be able to go there to see how horrific it actually all is. So this is going to be the Brick Breakdown. Once again, I hope you guys join me. I hope you share this. Let's build a community here where we actually have a voice in our own town instead of being surprised every single time something comes up. So that's it. Let's get to it. All right, let's break it down. This is what I have planned for you guys. This show is going to be evolving. Let's just say it's going to be evolving. But for a first show, this is going to be about what you can expect with a lot of caveats. I'm going to be, like I said, bringing in businesses, and I have a lot planned. But let's get to it. Let's go through the headlines. So, Drone fights. Drone flights are banned in 3 sites in Brick. All right. These 3 sites are the Brick MUA, the municipal utilities, the Brick municipal utilities, and the Ocean County utilities. So drone flights are banned. Good thing you're banned because, everyone's still seeing them in the sky. But what's funny is we all were running outside every night. It was on every single one of the socials. And we were all looking up and we saw drones in the sky. And then they disappeared for a little bit and said, hey, stop flying them for a little while. It's getting a little crazy. And then all of a sudden they're back. But still, we have no idea what they are. No idea whose drones they are. They're still keeping us in the dark. And it's just funny to me how everyone could forget about it. As soon as people stop talking about it, you forget about it. And you were never told what it actually was in the first place. It's awesome. They're saying 12 inches of snow possible. The snow is falling right now as I'm talking. You're going to be seeing this, and it's probably going to be accumulating slightly. I don't think that is going to be the situation. If you look at AccuWeather here, snow, they're talking about maybe 2 inches for us. If they were saying it was going to start snowing overnight, it looked like it's just started right now to where it's starting to stick. You can see kind of like a white coating over everything. Listen, I am not a meteorologist, but I could guess as good as Dan Zero could guess. And I'm going to guess that we're going to get about 2 inches here. I think most of it's going to stay south. I don't think we're going to get as much as everyone thinks we're going to get, but let's see. All right, here is the actual weather map. Yeah, 2 to 3 inches, 6 to 8, 8 to 12 down. So it looks like it's all going to stay south. It's funny when these storms do stay south, though, just from plowing as much as I do. They tend to track a little north, so maybe we get whacked. I don't think it's going to happen. All right. Let's get to what they're building. Drum Point Road, if you didn't know what's going on at Drum Point Road, they think Drum Point Road is a 4-lane highway that could take all the traffic and all the congestion that they could possibly throw at it. So they have a lot going on Drum Point Road. Let's start right here. 2 Brick Township commercial buildings to get zoning board hearings. So now, I'm not overly opposed to these guys, but let me just give you the breakdown. The B&B over on Drum Point Road, they're seeking expansion. The owners sell, I can't remember the entire story, but they sell a product. They got something to do with watches, and they want to make it a bigger building, and they want to basically make it a warehouse. Now, in the Village Zone, the warehouses are not permitted in the Village Zone. So, just to give you a little context about the Village Zone over on Drum Point, and we're indicative. Drum Point Road is going to be indicative of Bricktown all over the place, especially if you're in one of the type of zones that we live in where it could be commercial and where it's mixed use. In 2018, they ratified the Village Zone, and they took in place, and they met with each other, and they put in restrictions on what could be and what they did not want in the Village Zone. This group of people are asking for special exception. Now, they've allowed special exception for other things all up and down Drum Point Road. So the more and more they do this, the more and more they have to allow beyond what they contemplated just 5 years back when they put this thing in place to begin with. But the B&B wants to turn it into a warehouse. If you feel some type of way about that, I don't really. Once again, I'm not going to get into my commentary. I'll do that later. Now, right down the street, if you didn't know this story. The Romani Group proposes to build 60 housing units, 48 townhouses with 12 affordable housing apartments on Drum Point Road. Now, this went out. This went out to everybody. It said meeting January 17th at Brick Municipal Building. Whoever made this, everybody, you're not very good at what you're doing, because if you look at the upcoming events, the planning board meeting is the 15th, not the 17th. So whatever is going on, you're not right. But let's go over this, because this is the bottom of this is true. It says they're going to be requesting a variance and a variance approval for the following: the removal of 2 existing masonry buildings and 5 acres of woods. They're going to construct 9 multi-family residential buildings consisting of 60 units with driveways, 48 3-bedroom townhouses, 12 affordable housing units, 3 3-bedrooms, 7 2-bedrooms, 2 1-bedrooms. That's the affordable housing, for a total of 146 parking spaces. Right now, Drum Point Road. So I have to ask everybody, naturally, if you live in this area, can you get down Drum Point Road at certain times and it not be insane? I remember a time where I used to be able to do that growing up here, but they have made Drum Point Road where they cannot expand it. We cannot make it any bigger, but they're packing as much stuff as they possibly can. And now when my wife goes to the gym where she's going from our house to Easy Fitness, sometimes it takes her 25, 30 minutes to go an hour and a half. And you guys, if you live in the area, you know that's true. But this is what they're doing. It's probably something that you have not even ever heard about. And here's another thing that you probably have never heard about. Do you know the HR welding that was on the corner of Sky Manor and Drum Point? Well, it got approved, and this is what the Brick Shore Beat said about it. The junkyard to flagship, Brick approves commercial resident complex to replace welding yard. And that's all true. I don't know what flagship they're doing. What are you trying to do? Because what they're building now is a 3-story building, 18 different apartments, only 50 parking spaces, with 2 of the retail units on the bottom. Just across the street, when you look, and we're going to get to that later, they have more of the same with residential on top and the apartments on top and the buildings on the other ones on the bottom. Is this what we're looking for? Is this what we're trying to do? Is this what we're going to turn Drum Point Road in? How long do they want me to take to get from Mike's Pizza down to, I don't know, say Brick Boulevard? How long should it take? 15, 20 minutes? Is that acceptable to anybody? This is where we're going if we don't pay attention. This is, let's see. Like I said, I believe they're taking that up January 15th. I will post it on the sites. I think it's something you should show up to, and we're gonna talk about the town hall meeting in a second. But junkyard to flagship, you got to love it. So let's talk about this. Let's actually get into it right now. Here's our town notes. Township notes as of Sunday, and right now this morning was January 4th. They don't have any notes. They don't have any notes in the future of like what's coming up. They do have upcoming events, but it's very interesting because you hit the upcoming events. Now, what I would love to do as a citizen is say, okay, township council meeting. I would love to click on that council meeting and have everything that they're doing broken down in outline form on that council meeting. Same thing for the Board of Adjustments. Same thing for the planning board. That's not how it works. You hit it, it says, hey, we're having this meeting at this time. Then you have to try to search for their agenda. It's not very easy. It's not very easy to navigate. I find it very difficult. It's a real pain in the ass. But what are you going to do? Also, let's check this one out. The gift auction. Brick Football and Cheer, 3rd annual gift auction, January 25th. I am a parent of both a Brick Township football player and a Brick Township current cheerleader. My son played, I think, but graduated 3 years ago. My daughter is currently a junior at Brick High. So if you can, the gift auction, check it out. Saturday, 6 p.m., January 25th. And anybody that has a kid that went through the system, give to that system, because we all know the Murphy administration has taken as far as the algorithms and however they justified taking money out of our school systems. So it's really sad that we have to do it even on top of our taxes. But should our kids suffer for some of the decisions that these idiots make as far as who's running our state? But anyway, all right. And now we have one more thing on top of that. New Jersey, I figured this is New Jersey, but it's going to affect us. New Jerseyans basic reading and writing skills test requirements for teachers. So we removed the money from our schools, and they removed the requirements for teachers to even be qualified. I don't know. Listen, you make your own decision for that. They say it's going to help us with the teacher shortage. Lowering the standards for anything, I think that's always a great plan, but you tell me. And that was the breakdown. That breakdown was brought to you by Garden State Distillery, gardenstatedistillery.com. If you haven't gotten over there to Washington Street, do check them out. Put it in your little Google Maps. Have it drive you there. The place is tremendous. They are brick residents. They are in Toms River, but I highly suggest that they were the first company to believe in me when I started Two Mics Live. So they're the first company that is going to be sponsoring Brick Breakdown. So check them out. The Garden State Distillery. They are locally owned, locally sourced ingredients. They are proud brick people, and we love it if you can support them. Now let's move on. We have from the socials. I'd like to have a little bit of fun right here. So with the socials, you go through some of these group pages, and this is one of the things that was very relevant because it was a funny question. Tom J says, does anyone know what they are building on Drum Point Road and Church Road next to Baywood Pharmacy. And the Facebook response is where I heard it's a kosher catering kitchen like the one on Manilogan Road with apartments on the second floor. Yes, I believe that is exactly what it is. It's more of the same. This one was funny, and it's a particular place that I definitely like going to. Best news, I found today that I don't have to go all the way to Tom's River for Obico's Donuts. Durazzo's and Brick started selling them. So exciting. Durazzo's, if you haven't been to Durazzo's Meat Market is phenomenal. I grew up, went to school with that entire family. They're really, really good people. And then this one. The Brick Township is developing an economic development plan to guide our future growth and enhance our society, our town. So this is very interesting because I asked you a lot of pertinent questions. What's important to you? Why do you like living in Brick? Is traffic a major problem? And what I would like everybody to do is seriously fill out this survey. Tell them what you think. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to demand the results of the survey. So I want a big set. I want a big set of people chiming in, telling them what you want. Because what's going to happen is you have a lot of the people that support these guys that will get on. They're going to flood the system with some of the things that they want to get done. And when you don't get on these things, or you don't say that traffic is as big of a problem as it is, then that's going to be a problem. Then you are going to be losing out on even getting your voice heard. So if you have not heard about this, go check that out. It's on it's on the Township Municipal. If you can even find it, I will post the link on my page. The Brick Breakdown Facebook group is going to be started. We're going to have a lot of different groups. We're going to have a page on X. Give me a second. I have to get it all worked out. But check that out, guys, because that's very important. If you ask me, they're asking you what you want. And it's time to tell them what we want here instead of getting dictated to and wondering what's going on. All right, let's get to the final section of our original number one show for you guys. And this is going to be our follow-up section. If you have not seen the first one of these that I put out, I put it on, and I will post it at some point. But what brought me to doing this in the first place is I was working one day. I was told that this brick ordinance was going to be taken up in Brick, whatever, or with the planning board or the town council, and it was going to ban all trucks that were over 10,000 pounds gross vehicle weight. So I looked it up, I read their own thing, and I made a video of it. And a lot of people showed up. And the people that showed up, it was really amazing, right? Because, and I'm not crediting myself, I think it was a lot of people that are looking out for this town that need something like this, but it was the indicator that told me we don't have the proper information that's coming to everybody, because it took Facebook Messenger and all this stuff at the last minute, and a video from me and a bunch of people talking about it, and then all of a sudden a bunch of text messages to flood this building, and we did. We packed that room. Now the town council came walking in. First thing we did was say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Now, I found that very hysterical, because Pledge Allegiance to the flag, while they were trying to take my right to have my truck parked in my parking lot. And that's what they were trying to do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Then we sit down. The one lady to the left reads that according to their, proper rules, this meeting was posted a year before in January 16th or whatever it was of 2024. And it was posted in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star. Two publications that you need a subscription to see. But it was a year in advance. So they had this in the works for a year, this new ordinance for a year. So we sit down. Then they say, the head guy says, and I'm not going to name any names, but the head guy sitting there says, hey, guys, I know most of you guys are probably here for the ordinance. Just so you know, we couldn't get things worked out with the lawyer, and there was a miscommunication, and there was a lot of misinformation going around on social media. So with that, we're going to table this, and we're never taking it up again. So everyone's like, okay. And he goes, but if you want to stick around to hear the details, you can. So I stood up and said, can I ask a question? He's like, no, definitely not. I don't stop. So I just kept asking questions. Wait a second, you're not going to take this up at all? He said, no, not at all. You're not talking about it one bit because you left it a little open. No, not at all. Okay, great. Everybody in that room got up, walked out. That's the power that we have if we're paying attention. That's the power that we have if we make our voices heard. This is what I'm offering you. Because everybody got up and we walked out. But now here's where it gets interesting. I wanted to know answers to this. You had this in the works for a year, and then all of a sudden you backtracked. Why? What happened? What couldn't the lawyers get right or wrong? What couldn't they ratify? What couldn't they confirm? You posted it a year in advance. You had this plan for a year. What happened? Well, I asked everybody. I sent everybody an email. Every single one of the councilmen. Every single one of the councilmen. How many of the councilmen do you think got back to me? How many do you think the councilmen even sent me a no thank you email? 0. Not one of the councilmen got back to me. Not one. But I did get a response from Mayor Crate about a week and a half later, maybe a week later. It says, I appreciate you reaching out regarding the interview. I'm going to respectfully decline at this time. But with regard to your questions about the storage trailer ordinance, I'm going to drop to the bottom here. There was no change, and there will be no change made to this ordinance. There was an attempted change. It was planned a year in advance. There was an attempted change. All of a sudden, a lot of people showed up, and then that's when you guys changed your mind on what you were planning on doing for a year. I want to know what changed your mind. I want to know what lawyer problems there were. No one's asking them these questions. They don't have to answer to anybody for their actions. They do something this shady, and it goes away. No one's asking them. She refuses to be interviewed by me. Mayor Crate, I beg you. I will be very fair. I will not be easy. I will be very fair to you. I'm sure you had a good reason for it. I want to know. I think Bricktown deserves to know why you plan to remove all the trailers. What was the thought process behind it? And then what was the thought process on changing it? We deserve to know what is going on in our own towns. And you guys, every single one of you guys flat out told me that you're refusing to even talk to me about it. What misinformation went on social media? My video got almost 2,000 views. What did I put out? All I did was read off of your own ordinance, your own proposed changes. You took the time to make those, put them on paper, post it to your page, and then all of a sudden you couldn't get anything right. How does that work? How does that happen? I'll tell you how it happens. Bricktown showed up, and Bricktown finally got the information, and Bricktown finally made their voice heard. And it's time to do a hell of a lot more of that. Listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. This is the first edition. It's going to get better. It's going to change. It's going to evolve. I'm hoping to get a lot more interviews. I'm hoping to get everybody sitting here. I don't want you to be able to run for any office in this town without talking to me, without getting you the information of who these people are, what their intentions are when they get into office. I think you deserve it, and I think I deserve it. But this is what I need from you. Because I do. I need you. Watch this and share it. I'm going to be cutting it up in clips. You can watch the entire show or you can watch the clips. Share this. Tell everybody about this. This is the Brick Breakdown. Join the Facebook groups. Join the website when it gets up. It said this is the first episode. I'm putting this out there so I have people that want to advertise with me on this can actually see what this product is going to be. But this is going to be a work in progress. I could use all the help I could get. If you have any information, like I said, the thing I need from you is information. What's a story you want talked about? Email me at mikec@deadredmedia.com. If you see anything that you want, if you have a highlight film of your kid playing volleyball or any of that stuff, send it to me. I'll call it out like it was Sports Center. I want to highlight our town. I want to be highlighting businesses. If you had a great experience and it's repeated, I'll highlight a business. That's what I'm trying to do here. This is an awesome town, and it's time for it to be what we all want it to be, where you could actually drive through it. Maybe I don't think the traffic's ever going to get better, but could we stop it at a certain point? Right. So I want this to be something that we could all be proud of, but I do need your help. If you could share it, you could talk about it. And listen, be a part of it. If you have a concern, I'm going to have a rants page. I would love for you to tell me your thoughts. I think it's going to be awesome. I think we could really build something here to where we force everybody to start telling us what's going on. And it's time for you to be able to be informed in Bricktown. I really appreciate your time. Once again, I am Mike Calabrese. Calabrese Masonry. This show was brought to you by Calabrese Masonry. If you need any type of paver job, you give me a call. I do backyards. I do custom fireplaces, custom pizza ovens, custom fire pits, backyards, kitchens, driveways, walkways, you name it. And now that it's snowing outside, I could do indoor fireplaces. We could do bathrooms. We could do kitchen remodels. We could do hardwood flooring. I could basically do it all. Really appreciate your time, guys. Listen, Brick, let's do this together. I need all of you, and it's not going to be one side or the other. I need all of you, right? Because we have got to stop. Bricktown's not about right or left. It's never been that way. We've been Bricktown. This is about making us the best town that we could be so we can maintain what we've had. We live in the best town in America. We were the safest town in America just, 20 years ago. I want to get back to that, right? So the Brick Breakdown, let's break down the moments that build our town. Really appreciate you guys. Share this. Have a great day. Later.